case. It has come to our notice and as well to the public domain of the cyber incitement, cyberbullying, cyber harassment, cyber stalking, criminal intimidation, malicious act of imposture perpetrated by Mr. Martins Vincent Osi, popularly known as Very Dark Man, and the late Miss G. That's how the lady introduced herself during the time of their committing this crime. Now, it's no longer news that this act of criminal stalking and the cyber crime and libelous article and comments started by one against our client, Dr. Okafor, senior pastor, Dr. Okafor, started by one Miss Doris Ogala and the cohorts. However, our interest in this press briefing is not on her and her laughable and good digging story calculated to exploit our clients through cheap blackmail, taking into account the ongoing investigation and intervention of different law enforcement agencies. So who say that on that her own, that everybody should suspend commenting on it since they are investigating it. We reported this matter to the police, and you said that our client breached his promise to marry you, and some other things you said. Instead of you to follow the due process by approaching court with their evidence and prove their case, you decided to go into social media, thinking that when you blackmail our client as a pastor, thinking that when you start crying, our client will call you to give you money or whatever thing. So we said we have not seen this thing happen. Assuming without conceding that our client breached the promise to marry you, is that a ground for you to start posting his pictures to the social media? That is the question, and that is cyberbullying. The law is very clear. And some persons say then, why should we go to police? Going to police. When is going to police becomes a crime? Or do you want our client as a pastor to start fighting? Or do you want our client as a man of God to start banding words with her and her cohorts in the social media? Knowing that some persons, some men of God, which we make available to you, which we are calling CAM and PFN to investigate, are pushing them so as to pull down his ministry. But we don't want to go into that. So we are going to police. Police now has advised that on that particular issue, none of the parties should make comment on it. And we decided and humbly respect the police and the security agents in that regard. And so as to allow the wisdom of the law to take full course in that respect. Now, it is however worrisome that while the above remains, and that is the issue of Doris Ogala was on, and remains inconclusive and under investigation, a disturbing and disparaging story began to make rounds in social media, setting the social media space agog and trailing blaze against the personality of our client, Senior Pastor Okafor. Now, our attention to that in that regard has been drawn in that the individual herself, the lady who introduced herself as Miss G. Okafor. If you watch the clip where this issue was committed, she introduced herself as G. Okafor. The reasons for that I don't know, and has presented herself online as the biological daughter of our client, Pastor Dr. Chris Okafor, making false and misleading claims regarding his personal life and family relationship, alleging abandonment and neglect of paternal responsibilities on the part of our client. Now, the lady in question came up and he made the statement that our client is her biological father and failed to take the responsibility of them. And we are saying that ordinarily our clients have decided long ago not to join issues, nor respond to any characterless, we call them people without character, jobless agents of destruction, in that our client is already aware of where they are coming from and those who are pushing them. So joining the issue with them will make them succeed by making to lose focus in his clergy work. So he decided not to respond to the false claim. Now, but to put record straight, we want to start by stating categorically and unequivocally clear that those claims as alleged by the so-called Ms. Chief Okafor are frantically untrue, misleading, malicious, inciting, injurious to the personality and the character of our client. What we are saying is that the lady in question is not a biological daughter of our client, and our client is not her biological father. I want this story, everybody to understand it. But before we get into that properly, before we narrate the story properly, let us first of all inform you that the person who was carrying this story, who was one of the agents that they are using to try our client, that is Mr. Vincent Martins, popularly known as Very Dark Man. A letter has been written to him. I'll make it available to you. A letter has been written to him because for using, our client has written a letter to him through a lawyer for using his social media handles such as Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, etc., and continuously harass, defame, and incite members of the public against our client, and they threaten our client in the name of activism, just to destroy our client and his ministry, and they satisfied his pay masters. Because one wonders how an acclaimed activist unlawfully published an interview of a lady who claimed to be our client's biological daughter, which is totally false, and criminally defaming our client all over the internet without having the decent to reach out to our client to hear his own side of the story before publishing such malicious, self-serving content all over the internet just to create content and cheap popularity, having known that our client as a pastor may not respond to him on social media. We are all activists. When somebody make an allegation against somebody, for you to hear that person, you don't need to have a degree in journalism for you to know that. You need to hear the other side of the story, so the other person. Reach out to him, hear his own side of the story, for you to balance your story. And when you are balancing your story, you will say, this is what this person said. You drop it, this is the report. And if you want to bring it, if you don't want to go to a conventional court, you want to go to a court of public opinion, you allow people to use it. Not to go on the stage, manage somebody, tell the girl how to cry, the girl will be crying, it's my father, blah, 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 blah. And you do not even ask this girl who sent you to Canada, who sent you abroad, who was paying your school fees in abroad. You did not hear this man taking advantage of the fact that the man is a popular pastor. And the only thing, he didn't say it. that if you say what you say, nobody will go to the church again. So his interest is to pull down this ministry. And we know those who are sponsoring them. We will get to that. Now, for the record, we used to straighten out the facts with which the impostor has intentionally hidden, twisted, and perverted in order to ruin the goodwill of our clients has built over the years in life and the ministry. So, this lady in question decided to hit some facts, which I'm going to make available to you, that there has been a DNA test carried out years back. Here the DNA test established that both her and her sibling, the sister, are not biological daughter of our client, Pastor Dr. Chris Okafor. It is the instruction and the brief of our client that several years ago, that is the story now, early in his pastoral stage, a certain woman came up, that is their mother, and alleged that she was pregnant for our client. Being a responsible and respected young gospel preacher, our client accepted the responsibility and decided to marry her and settle down with the woman in question. Shortly after that, the lady began to live a life unbecoming of a preacher's wife, and unfortunately, she took in the second time. Our client continued to shoulder the responsibility as the father in the pursuit of peace and unbroken home. In the course of time, unfortunately, for this before our client, who was kidnapped and kept away for about 50 days or so. At that time, the kidnappers reached out to the supposed wife of our client for ransom. That is their mother. But she denied knowing our client. At a point, the extended family members and friends intervened and raised the money and gave the supposed wife to secure the release of our client, her husband. But unfortunately, the woman diverted the money and made a fool of the kidnappers. Remember that I told you, he used the house of our client to collect collateral, and the people now raise the money for him to go on for that. When our client was released, he had a misunderstanding with the supposed wife, flowing from her neglect of him while when he was adopted. And in the heat of argument, our client queried the sincerity of her love for him if she could not stand by him in trying moments. It was in this heat of argument that the woman uttered a comment to our client. Thus, do you even think that the children of this marriage are yours? That was the comment of the woman. And having made such assertion earlier, our client attached weight on the second assertion and demanded for DNA test. Our client insisted that there must be DNA test with respect to this particular issue. Ladies and gentlemen, the DNA test was carried out, and shockingly, the DNA test returned as negative. A testament that neither the first nor the second child belongs to our client. We are calling on the impostor and their mother we challenge them to produce that DNA certificate. We are asking them that they should produce the DNA certificate because they are still with the DNA